started Christmas early and we watched Love Hard on Netflix. It is my first Christmas movie of the season, and it was just as bad as you would expect it to be. Lindsey, thoughts?
It wasn't like pure Hallmark movie. Like it was a little bit more racy than that, than a Hallmark movie would be. Not something I would pick. Didn't you pick the? Actually, I think I did.
You picked this.
I was like, this
It
one's
was-
the number one trending. Like I typically look at what's trending, and that's
I was
what
gonna
I
say,
go with.
she looks at what's trending. It was on my list. So she showed me, I was like, oh, this was on my list to watch. So like this would have been a me pick, but it would have been a me watching it alone pick.
Yeah, so I suffered through this. It was okay. It's not my type of show. Like I like more action and either comedic drama or bloody drama or crime drama, and this was more oh my gosh, I'm so in love with this guy and he doesn't even notice me, but this other guy is perfect and I ignore him, that type of thing.
Yeah. So the basic premise of this movie is the main actress. She writes for a magazine or an online publication. She writes for something, and she basically just goes on terrible dates and she writes about how she can't find love, which is something that we can all relate to because dating apps are absolute trash. But you know, at the same time, it's like, okay, it was her job to go on bad dates. So like, why would she, you know, she can't possibly think that one of these people will be the love of her life. But she ends up falling for a guy that she thinks is perfect, and she
That guy.
yeah, she falls for him. She thinks he's perfect. She flies out to New York from California after 2 weeks of talking to him to surprise him because he
That's weird in itself.
because he
That's very
offhandedly said
stalkerish.
you should come and visit me, and so she's like, I'm just gonna fly out. Finds out it's actually the other guy.
It's like it was a catfish and not some married person with
Yeah.
a whole family.
So I liked kind of the concept. It was funny. I liked her best friend, her like office bestie, who was like, you're dating in a 5-mile radius. Like, of course you're not finding any love matches. You have to like extend it. You have to go to other states. She's like, I fell in love with a guy in Ohio. I had to ship him out. And I was like, that's true. Like you find the good ones in like hidden in the Midwest because the internet hasn't hit us. So like you have to go to Ohio and Minnesota, and that's where you find like the quality people. But I thought that was funny. And as somebody who has had just like a terrible dating history, that aspect of it really spoke to me. Because I can't say that I have not been a person who like fell in love with somebody that I had like only talked to online after 2 weeks and was like, I'm gonna drive, weirdly enough, to Ohio. I was like, I should drive to Ohio and meet this person. But it was like a consensual, he knew I was coming type of thing. So the plot twist is that the person that the photos were being used of actually did exist. So it was like this weird kind of throuple.
So this guy was the catfisher.
Yes.
And he used his old best friend's pictures, which was this guy. So then when she gets there and whoo, surprise, she finds out it's this guy and she's like, oh my God, but his whole family's there and like all excited because he's got this girlfriend, you know? And so she's like, can't just like break his cover with his family. So then she goes to like a bar somewhere and sees this guy actually there. And so she's like, oh my God, he's really here. Oh, I'm dumbass. So this is going to be great.
Yeah.
That's kind of what happened.
So it did bring up a really interesting thing because this woman and the guy that she is in love with, they don't have anything in common. So he is outdoorsy and he's athletic and he eats steak, and she is indoorsy and afraid of heights and a vegetarian.
Yeah.
And so it brought up a weird question for me where I was like, okay, so they're helping her fall in love with this guy, but they're catfishing him with her personality, whereas this other guy who she the only thing that he lied about was what his face looks like. She was in love with him. What's worse? Is it worse to catfish somebody with like your physical appearance or with your personality?
I think it's worse with the personality
Yeah.
because physical appearance changes over time. I mean, yeah, our personality will change too, but as a whole, we're the same person, like some things will change, but your physical appearance can drastically change overnight. Like you can get in a wreck, and
Yeah.
look completely different, so you've got to have that connection on that mental, personal level for it to work. So I would much rather somebody catfish me with their pictures than with their personality.
Yeah. Like if I'm going to be catfish, I'd rather they like have a different face than a different personality. Um, it's especially for that aspect because like it even came out where she was like, yeah, no, I don't rock climb and I had to be high to do this and I can't eat
Yeah,
meat.
like her getting high, like that wouldn't have been on a Hallmark movie. This
Yeah.
type of stuff. And then when she tries to do that, dance at the
Oh
bar,
yeah. The
and but
sexy
then
dance
her,
at the bar.
then her face, she had an allergic reaction to something. I don't remember what, but when she
Kiwis.
turned around, I was like, oh, that's not her. I didn't even not
Mm.
even know. Like
I did not like that aspect because I think that they really like
I
that's
didn't
not what an allergic reaction looks like.
well that and it was too just focused on her body and like, oh well, she has an ugly face though, so she's
Yeah.
not worth,
Yeah,
and that was awkward.
I didn't like that scene specifically because they were like, oh, she's this gorgeous, thin, beautiful girl, but then her face like blows up and now everybody's like, oh,
Ew.
she's so brave.
Yeah, like no.
Um, but yeah, like I am notorious, one of my friends says, for dating unattractive people, but it's because the app that I like to use to meet people was based on anonymous posting. So you connect with somebody on their post, and then it's like, yeah, maybe he's not model hot, but he's attractive to me, and his personality more than makes up for the fact that he's not
Yeah.
a traditional 10. So it was one of those things where I was like, yeah, I didn't like that aspect of the movie. And then of course, because it's a Hallmark movie, she realizes the error of her ways and he just welcomes her back with open arms. I was like, no, I don't like it. He should have told her to fuck off.
Yeah.
And there was a movie like this last year with Kristen Stewart.
Who was messaging me?
It's probably Gary because I got one too.
Oh, then yeah.
He just loves us so much.
I know. He's been gone for 3 minutes.
Yeah. There was a movie last year where at the end of the movie, it was a very similar plot. They're all this plot, you guys. I'll be watching these Christmas movies all season long, and it is all this plot. But at the end of the movie, it was the same thing where it looked like the person who was slighted was like, yeah, no, you're a literal crazy person. Why would I ever be with you? And I was like, thank God. Because like, why would you be with somebody who was like, oh, I saw that you weren't as hot as I was expecting. So sorry. Like
personally, I think this dude's way cuter than that guy.
I agree.
Like
the same thing.
By far.
Yeah.
And I like his personality better. Like I would have been like, wow, I actually hit the jackpot and I didn't realize it. I just thought you were good, but this is even better.
That's why I can't do dating apps, because it's so focused on your appearance, and it's just like, no, like I'm a whole person. My appearance is a very small part of me, because guess what? This is not what I look like.
Actually, that Shake app that I've been helping out with. Whenever I had the call with the creator on that was one thing we talked about, was that's one of the aspects of it. And one of the things that, we want, that we all liked about it, is that it's not based on sex appeal. It's based on what you have to say. And
I mean,
because you can't post pictures, and then there's no drama from like keyboard warriors because there's no text.
Yeah.
It's just voice clips and that's it. And that was something that we all liked about it, was that you're removing the sex appeal from someone trending on the app, which is why I'm trending on the app. I'm kidding. No, but you remove the sex appeal and you're just diving into someone's mind and what they have to say. And that's it. And so someone who's, timid or shy about their appearance, or there's something they're self-conscious about, it's removed from the equation on there, because the only picture on there is your profile picture, and you can put, whatever you want to for that. You don't have to use your face, because a lot of people don't, they'll have something different, or like a cartoon type thing, or, so it's neat because it's your content is what is.
Yeah.
So it's just, I really like that about it. I like that we're trying to get to a place where there's plenty of sex appeal everywhere on the internet. It doesn't have to be in every single corner. Like, let's have something that's not based on that. I like that.
Yeah, it makes it so much easier to like connect with people when you don't have to worry about that aspect. And I mean, it shows. I mean, that couple, she flew out to New York to meet him based on his personality. And then she doesn't want to be with him because he doesn't look it. And I get the initial shock, but also shame on her for flying out there without warning him. Like, let's not
can't even fathom why she would think this guy's cuter than that guy. Like, look at him. Like, look, his cute little glasses, his pretty hair, his smooth skin. Like, look at this guy. He looks like he's in. I don't like him. I like that guy.
But yeah, like, let's not like
K-pop guy over here. Like, come on.
Well, yeah, I don't want to gloss over how crazy she was in this and how she like totally saw herself as the victim when like she literally hopped on a plane to surprise somebody and like thought that wasn't insane at all.
Yeah.
Like, she's like
level 10 clinger.
Yeah.
Who does that?
And then she was like, she kicked him. Like, he was nice enough to be like,
oh, how did she even know his physical address?
I'm sure that he told her, because he did in one clip say like, you should come here. But like somebody offhandedly in the middle of a conversation saying you should come here. Like, I mean, granted, if you told me I should come there, I would get in my car right now, but
you should come here.
I'm already driving.
But we've known each other for a long time. There's like
a
difference.
And the first time that I did go there, it was on a whim. Like, I'm not a person that like when I actually go places, it's always on a whim. It's never like planned out.
That's how I am like, too. If I plan something, I want to see Lindsey this happen weekend, because something's gonna get in the way. Like when I had tried to plan to come up there, and it's like, crap. Well, now I've got to do Lily's stuff for school that day, and this other stuff's going on. It's like, I can't plan. It's got to be just spur of the moment.
And when I came to see you, I was actually supposed to go to Tennessee to see somebody else, and that person had pissed me off, but I was already like, no, I deserve a vacation. Then I went, well, I was already going to drive to Tennessee. Arkansas is right there. I might as well just go and see Lindsey. Like, that would be way more fun anyway. But yeah, like, absolutely just bananas that she flew there. And then she was rude to him and his family. Like, she was just a really stuck up bitch about the whole thing. Like, he offered to let her. He
deserves way better than her.
Exactly, which is why it was so infuriating. Because he was like, you are absolutely welcome to stay here. You can stay in my room. And she's like, we're not sharing this bed. And I'm not sleeping on the couch or the floor. You're going to sleep on the floor.
Bitch, you showed up with no warning.
Yeah.
You'd be glad you even get to sleep here. Like, go get a fucking hotel room.
And when she was catfishing the stereotypically hot guy, she borrowed an outfit from the wonderful man's mother and fucking cut it up to make it cuter. She was like, oh, I took this out of your mom's closet. It was one of her best outfits, and I had to make some alterations. And then she holds up the fabric. Like, yeah, it's a cute outfit, but like, who does that? Who just like
an entitled little bitch?
Yeah. So like, I do not like her in this movie at all. That guy deserved better. I did like his brother and his brother's wife. Thought they were hilarious. So like they were fun, just like very like conceited, self-centered couple and stuff. But I mean, in terms of like Christmas movies, this is exactly what you thought it would be.
Yeah.
Like, it's not groundbreaking. It's funny, it's entertaining, it's infuriating. But it ends as all Christmas movies do, with a happy ending and everybody being in love, and they're gonna try and make it work long distance.
He
So,
deserves
like,
better. Fuck her.
he did. And I hope that he realizes it in their time apart, because it's very easy when you're right next to somebody to be like, oh my God, we're so in love. I'm so happy. We should be together. We should be long distance. But then when you're long distance, you're like, wait a second. She's actually a really shitty human being. Like, yeah, I catfished her with a photo, but she cut up my mom's dress and
Yeah.
also like made fun of my candles before she realized that I was like actually good at candles.
Yeah.
So I I liked the movie, but it's only because I like bad Christmas movies. So, like, if you are a person that enjoys terrible statistical, or not statistical, just like exactly what you expect from a Hallmark movie, you'll like it. It's a good movie. But, like, if you want something groundbreaking, if you want something with substance, this is not the movie.
I like historical dramas, like The Tudors, Spanish Princess, those type of things where they do have love drama, but I like to see some wars and some vindictive, deceptive things going on. And because I love history. So even though they're never exactly like history, obviously, but it takes me into history and I like getting to see their clothes and all the cool things from back then. So that's what I like.
Yeah, I don't think that they do very many historical Christmas dramas, unfortunately.
Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, they really don't do enough. It's really focused on this exact premise.
Yeah.
But
See, there's an area. That's what they need.
yeah,
I should
I
write
mean,
some.
yeah, you should. That's a good
I
idea.
don't, I don't do nearly enough things.
No, you're not busy enough.
No, I'm
Yeah,
supposed to be writing a book as it is, and I haven't even been doing that since Granny died because I've lunged myself into 5,000 other things to do to take my mind off things. So I haven't had time for that. I needed to work on that, but
and inspiration strikes in different ways. So that's what I found is like, if you are trying to work on one specific thing and it's not working, you need to switch to something else, because you can't focus on something if you're not into it.
yeah. Now I was into the book. I just then all the stuff with Granny happened and it took me out of it. So
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you can't get back into it just by like
yeah.
forcing yourself back into it. You're like sitting in front of your pages like, I will finish this. Like, no, it's not going to be the same magic as the first couple chapters, because the first chapters, they just flowed right out of you.
Yeah.
You just gotta wait until you're back in that vibe.
Yeah. But anyways, if you like Hallmark Christmas movies and you also like to get high, you will like this.
She got high for one scene.
Yeah,
Although I do
Hallmark
like
Christmas movies, don't put that in there.
her Uber driver was super cool, and I would have dated her Uber driver, the one that gave her the pot.
Yeah.
So fun movie, entertaining, make it into a drinking game. Like, 'tis the season. Start your Christmas early.
Yeah. How could you make that into a drinking game?
Drink every time you just go.
Every time she blows off this dude for the other dude, you're like,
So stupid.
so stupid.
And that's the thing.
Are
Just give
girls
people a
really
chance.
like that?
Yeah.
That's so dumb.
So like on the dating apps, it's just like, it's a lot of like, because it's so focused on just what you look like. And that was the thing too. She was talking about his profile and she said it wasn't just the pictures, it was the stuff that you put in your profile. And that is the key. The key is the stuff that you put in your profile. Because you can have a pretty face, but if there's no substance behind it, like, what are we going to talk about when we're both disgusting and like wrinkly, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's like, yeah, your photos matter, and like, when he showed his like official, like his actual dating profile, it was him trying to like do the stereotypical manly, he was holding a chainsaw and he was holding a plumbing tool, and it's like, that's not you. Like, just be yourself on there, and like your confidence will shine through. And also
Yeah, and she's telling him that while she's sitting there like, sorry, you're not good enough for me.
yeah. And like, yeah, and so that's why the thing is, I've always found like, just swipe on people. If you think that their profile is great, but maybe they're not as attractive in their photos, they could just be bad at taking photos. And like, if they
Maybe you
take the
shouldn't be so
time,
damn shallow.
it's just who we are as a society. And I think that we are starting to get away from it, because it is just like, it's causing a ton of issues with like everybody's like mental image. Like, I know my cell phone auto filters every selfie I take. It's not a setting that I selected. There's just an auto filter on my camera. And so it's very hard to kind of like want to be on dating apps for that aspect, because I'm like, I don't look like that. Like, I have like, you even here, you can't see it, I have a dark spot here, and then I have them here because I kept picking at acne, and you can't see them. And so it's one of those things
You can't
where,
see that pimple that I said I have today.
exactly. So it's one of those things where we live in this like highly filtered world, where if somebody doesn't look exactly like this when they show up, you're like, I've been catfished. And it's like, no, like, I'm a normal human person. Like, my face doesn't always look like this. My body doesn't always look like this. It fluctuates between day and night. Like, the amount of times that I have not eaten so I can look slightly thinner for a date is insane. Like, it's one of those things where, that's why I don't like dating apps. And I want more dating apps where it's focused on the personality, and not just your physical characteristics, especially ones you can't change. Everybody who is like focused on height is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, you can't get rid of a whole set of people because they aren't above 6 feet, or stuff like that. Although there is something I do like, where like, so there's a whole child-free movement that I'm a part of. Like, I don't want kids. And that is now a thing that I can filter through on dating apps. So I can now say, like, I only want to see people who also do not want kids, because I can't waste my time with somebody who's going to be like, oh, I don't want kids. And then like, I find out 3 months in, oh, well, I thought you'd change your mind. Nope. That's why I have this on there. And then I feel bad too, because like, when people have kids, I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't want them. Like, I love kids. I don't want them. And now I can filter through it. But
I want to be the cool aunt. That's all that I
yeah,
ever want to be, is a cool aunt.
yeah, like, that's it. Like, bring your, like, if you have, nieces, nephews, great, bring them over. But like, if you have kids that live with you full time, especially young kids, because that's the thing, is like, I like my freedom. I like being able to like decide last minute to go to dinner, to go to a bar, to go to Arkansas. Like, and you can't do that with kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun movie. Christmas. We're starting it before Thanksgiving. Sue us. Lindsey picked
Do
it.
us for all of our profits.
I was trying to wait until December. I actually do a 25 days of holiday movies, and I try to watch one every day, but sometimes with my work schedule gets away from me. So then it's just on the weekends, me watching 7 of this movie in a row. And it gets real weird around like the 4th or the 5th movie. But Netflix wanted us to start Christmas now, and I will not shame people who want to start Christmas early, because the
It was the number one trending.
Yeah.
Whenever I suggested it, because that's why I suggested it. I was like, this is the number one trending. Let's watch this. And then after I suggested, I'm like, oh hell.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was
I
a
just
weird pick for you.
suggest.
It's a total
already agreed upon, so
it's a total me pick. It's not a Lindsey pick.
yeah.
All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good day.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Look how pale I look.
You're not
It's
a
like
normal
tan
human
people.
color. There you go.
Yeah, it's kind of evening out, I guess. I like the color of the background.